Due to the nature of strong language in today's episode, viewer discretion is advised. Today on Blissfully Tea Drunk with Alrighty, so welcome to today's Thanksgiving special. We have a group of people here that have been on the show before. They're personal friends to me, and they are just important to the world of tea altogether. So based on how my view is now, I don't know it's what you guys are seeing. But to my left, we have our in-resident musician for season 4. We have Ethan. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. To my right, we have Bitterleaf Teas. We have Jonah and Kumi. They're the two behind the company, and just also me and Kelly, who's also here today, are your two biggest fans. And I'll hash this out if we have to, Kelly. I will fight for this title.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Who will win?
Yeah. Below me, we do have Kelly and Marika, but they're both the hosts of Geek, which is a phenomenal podcast that goes into fandoms with tea time. And just expect me to harass you all for more updates on the podcast when we're done here.
Fair enough.
So today's theme, because it's a lot, it's Thanksgiving. This is technically Black Friday. And before this, it was just Thanksgiving. And a lot of holidays in America, especially this one, is surrounded by capitalism. And because a lot of capitalism has taught people narcissism, because it tells you how you can benefit instead of people that you love. A lot of people have detached from the capitalistic type ways of America by searching for their own family. And especially because of COVID and the last two elections, US elections, because evidently no others in the world matter to anyone. A lot of people have detached. They decided to let go of the selfishness. They decided to let go of capitalism, and they decided to search for their own family. So this episode is dedicated to our tea family. And while we have our tea family here, because I would consider a lot of you guys family and close friends and different, most like in every capacity. I have great relationships with all of you. It's just different, you know. I love you all. But because of that, while I have you on, I decided that I'm going to get back out in the realm of dating, and I want to find my own husband for my own family. So one day I can extend my family to the tea family. So I've downloaded Grindr, which is this phenomenal dating app for gay men. And I think this app is great. I didn't know there was a dating app for gay men past Tinder. So I'm going to be searching through here. We're going to be reading some of the messages I get, and we're going to be talking about some of the conversations and get your viewpoints on it. So while the app, I'm going to upload a cute photo of myself. I think that's one of the greatest things I can do. Because, like, how are people supposed to know I'm out there dating and don't show my face? Because, I mean, I think last time I downloaded this, people love to block you when you ask what they look like. I mean, so I don't want to exert insecurity, at least up front. I'm going to upload a photo of myself.
Because Grindr is
looking
infamously known for people sending photos of their faces.
Yes.
Very true.
Alrighty, so I'm going to upload this, and we'll see like what type of attention we get. So for today's tea, earlier in the show for our premiere, we actually had snarky teas. And I decided, because it's the holiday season and everyone's pissed off around the holidays for some reason, I thought I would drink cheer the fuck up. It is a spearmint, peppermint, cinnamon, and saffron flavored tea. So what are you guys drinking? What is the fam drinking?
I have to I don't have a lot of herbal teas. I only do caffeinated usually, but it's kind of late here today, so I just chose ginger honey from David's Tea because it is one of 3 herbal teas that I own. So it was kind of, simple and good.
Mm-hmm. It's also pretty late for me, so I didn't want to drink something that was going to keep me awake. So I'm drinking the tea that I've had one time that basically made me fall asleep in the afternoon. And that's Camphor Lao Chateau, and that is from Liquid Proust.
We're drinking, you go ahead first.
I don't really give a fuck about caffeine, so I've got a couple things going on. I have some cold brewed cherry blossom oolong from Tea Lira here in Canada. I'm finishing a mug of offshore Sao Paulo from Camellia sinensis, which is like a very like Atari currant and rooibos blend. And I've also been steeping some 2020 spring Gushu Maucha from Ketley. So I've got a few things going on.
Nice guy one too. If I myself. Wow.
I wonder where that's from.
Yeah.
Who can say?
I wish I had one. Now that's a tea drinker right there. Finishing 3 teas off to at what 9:30, 9:40 in the evening.
So what are you guys drinking?
We're drinking a Dansong Oolong, but I wasn't told what it is. Oh, it's Xingren Xiang.
Yeah,
It's one of the ones you can tell what it is.
it's one of the most expensive one that we carry this year. So it's kind of
Right.
like start the morning with, you know, something that's a little bit with a little bit of the punch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was that correct? Like, I want to see if I can guess. Was that Pharaoh?
No, that was Chairman. That was Chairman. He made his way over.
So Chairman is also your cat. So you have 3 cats that also make up. You're really the ones in charge at Bitterleaf, right?
100%.
So do they drink tea with you guys? I mean, they obviously take photos with you, but
Yeah, they mostly do behind the scenes work, but usually you know, big idea kind of stuff.
They like to drink teas with us when there is dessert.
Yeah.
Like preferably some kind of mooncake or, you know, buttery cookies. That's our favorite.
oh, guys, I got a message from someone. They shared something called an album. There's photos
What's
in
that?
it. Oh, I get it. So on this app, you can send photos of yourself to people, or you can collect them as an album and then send the album to someone. And it looks like the albums are encrypted, so people can't screenshot it. Let's open it. Let's see what they said.
Don't do that.
I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
I wouldn't do that.
Cody's really desperate.
didn't know
Well, he's
something that big
he's on an adventure.
I didn't know something that size could fit. Maybe if I want something so wholesome, maybe we don't talk to this person. Maybe this person's on a different journey than I am.
But that's a good thing, right? Because if it's too small to fit, then that's like a whole other thing, right?
Look, I'm all for exercising my Blanche and Samantha Jones here, but come on, maybe on the second date. But we haven't even met yet. Come on.
Yeah, buy me a cup of tea first. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
See, Samantha Jones from Sex and the City was classy. You had to take her out for drinks and dinner and had to respect her first. She was all about respect. You have to respect someone. And if you just like defile them in their bodies, how do you learn respect if that's how you start? Because that's lust. Respect doesn't come from lust.
True.
Okay.
As far as my tea family, well, I'm searching for my husband, but as far as tea family goes, so Kelly we all have some sort of connection like together because Kelly and I are huge fans of Bitterleaf Teas. Kelly was one of Bitterleaf Tea's first customers, one of them, and I was one of Bitterleaf Tea's first harassers.
Really important.
I met Marika.
Harasser, though.
Yes, but I met Marika through Kelly, and I know Ethan because I have a tendency to scroll on Instagram at 4 a.m. while anxious, and I came across his tea profile and just hit it off. So that's how.
I'll take
So,
it.
as far as family goes, Kelly, you and I have been friends for about close to like a decade. It's been like an 8-year friendship.
Yeah,
And-
I think
That's awesome.
coming up on 9.
9? And I remember because we were in a Discord together. It wasn't Discord, but in a group chat. And one of our first conversations, I remember this clear as day. We're talking about Foster the People and their album Sacred Hearts Clubs. I mean, I knew of you way before then, but that was like the one conversation where you and I think, hit it off.
Yeah, you're one of the few people that back then I could really connect with about all of my obscure music tastes. And of course, Foster the People is not really that obscure, but it felt like it, a decade ago.
Uh-huh.
And for Bitterleaf Teas, so Jonah, you're from Texas, from Canada, now in China.
Yep, I'm Texan, Chinese, Canadian cross, some combination by now, I think.
Something like that.
And you met Kumi in Canada. And do you remember the first time that y'all met?
You remember?
Yeah, it was at a wedding, friend's wedding. We're sitting across the table from each other. That's, nothing special. It's just normal.
But it was special. Y'all met.
I mean, it wasn't as special as meeting on Grindr or Tinder,
Yeah.
but we don't have that kind of charm.
We met an old-fashioned way.
Oh, speaking of, I got a new message. Oh, this person's colorful. They said that they're only on here looking for women who look like men and want to know if I'm available for a hookup.
Hey, to quote Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I will say, I don't care, I don't like the argument of feminine and masculine, because to me, it depends on how much caffeine I have for which one I am.
The spectrum, right?
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. I'm going to maybe, they shared their album. Oh. Maybe we're not on the same path either. Maybe I don't respond to this person.
Maybe not.
Maybe I send them a photo back, but then ignore them for the rest of eternity. Maybe that will do it. There we go.
Perfect.
Because apparently people do that on
really
dating
good
apps.
advice. Yeah, good advice.
Yes, because you show you're interested in them once, and then after that, you're available to message them whenever because they think you want them. That's what Tinder has taught me.
I started dating before the apps even existed, because I'm that ancient, and I feel like I'm learning a lot. So thank you.
Likewise.
But as far as family goes, Ethan, you're away. I don't know if I can really say this to what extent, but you're in school, so you're not obviously by family. Is that a good or great? Is it like a great thing, good thing, bad thing?
I'd say that's a bad thing, because I get along with my family really well, but I still keep in touch with them, just like texting and calling and all that, and still getting pictures of my dog sent to me through my messages too. So that's definitely a good way to stay connected. I do really like living in a house without my family. Not anything against them, it's just they work from home, so they're literally always there. So having my own sort of space has definitely been nice. So while I don't love living in the same house with them, I do love living with them, if that makes sense. So
I get that. It's like I love my family so much that I had to move 1,000 miles away just so I could appreciate them better. The further I am from them, the better I can appreciate them.
I relate to that. I feel that.
So Kelly, you weren't always at David's Tea, so you had to move for David's Tea. What was that transition like?
It was scary, not from the sense of being away from family. I had actually done that before, just within the province. But it's all the way across the country, and Canada's a big country. And I was moving somewhere where I know a single person, so completely fresh start. But it was also great in a lot of ways, because I moved somewhere that I was going towards people with shared interests, to an office where I would get to talk to people about the thing I love most every single day. I found my own family there. Not to put the emotions on Marika, but she was the first person I connected with in the office, and is probably the person I'm closest with here in Montreal. So definitely moved towards a different kind of family, but still family.
Oh. Yeah.
So if y'all both want to answer this cast of Geek Steve, why can friends be more important than family and become your own family?
They can. There's no rule to say they can't. It just all depends on the person and what family means to you.
I just think family can mean so many different things to so many different people. And like, I'm biracial, and my French family from France are white and speak French, and my Trinidadian family from Trinidad are Black and speak English. So it's nice when you can meet people who speak both at the same time. Like, for me, that's like very important. But also that, like, I'm Canadian, like my family's from other countries, but I'm a Montrealer. And so it's, you know, the people in Montreal and the people I surround myself with make me feel like I'm at home sometimes, far more than being in like Lyon or Port of Spain. So it's all what you make it.
And I now want to ask us, Kumi, when you met Jonah in Canada, you had to leave home to not just like another part of your own country, you went to the other side of the planet to go to school. So do you remember what moving was like to Canada for school, and that time period itself being away from family?
I finished my school in Singapore, so I was actually working in Canada. So that was already, by the time we met, it was already long time away from home. Actually, what's more interesting is by the time we came back to China, the culture shock from my own hometown.
Yes.
So kind of like right now, it's kind of like at the point that you can't really decide which side is your home. Like, you kind of feel like you don't exactly belong in both worlds, if it actually makes sense.
It makes sense. I lived in China for 6 years, and the first year back in Canada, I didn't understand like people in the streets. I was like, why are the streets so empty? It was so uncomfortable because I was just so used to being around like millions of people. And I kept telling people I'm having a really hard time readjusting, and they're like, why? It's your home. And it's like, it hasn't been for a long time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be even weirder because now with COVID, we haven't left the country since 2019.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I feel like between that and all the things going on, social issues, and just the way the social climate has changed as well. Never mind COVID and restrictions and all that. I'm a little bit like actually quite anxious about going back and like, am I gonna do the wrong things? Am I like, what's the environment gonna be like? Because even before that, we go back maybe every year or so, and it already feels quite different. You already feel a bit out of place, and you already start wondering, like, where do I belong, really? So it's going to be quite interesting. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but it's...
you have a tea family to help you, like, adjust. And if ever you want to just send me a message on Instagram that's just, I'll be like, yeah, I know, I get it. Yeah.
I remember... the last time, actually, when you guys went to America and Canada, because I remember you were popping your heads up in places along the West Coast before Canada. I remember thinking at the time, I was transitioning in Missouri at the time. I remember thinking, like, damn, I should just buy a plane ticket, go to Seattle, and hunt them down.
Definitely not creepy behavior at all.
You wanted to
very
board them
Grindr
in person
vibe.
and online.
Hey, they must be important because they're not Lana Del Rey for me to want to do that. Oh, hey, I got a message. Okay, so this guy wants to know if I'm into party and play. I love parties. Pinatas are so much fun. Hold up, let me reply. What type of party? Because I could bring glow sticks, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Like watching a baby lamb learn how to walk.
We'll call them glow sticks.
He asked, okay. He asked how much of a kilo? A kilo of glow sticks?
I think this guy might be going for something else.
Yeah.
Different kind of party balloon.
It could be tea. Maybe it's tea. I don't get it. Maybe it's tea. Kilo of tea.
The Flintstones vitamins. Why did he send a photo of those? Are those not Flintstone vitamins? Is that Molly? No, I don't think this type of person is the type of party that I want to go to. Maybe this is not my kind of party. I'm more of a...
I don't think they have glow sticks there.
I really do think my kind of party is watching Downton Abbey on a Sunday and melodramatically gasping at something overtly shallow on that show. Like, the more melodramatic they are on the show, the more, like, I don't just gasp, I have to gay gasp. It's a Anytime something melodramatic, every Sunday, I lose my breath and my asthma makes it hard to gasp, but I power through it. Power through it. That is my kind of
Overtly
party.
shallow.
You should put that on the grinder
You
profile.
got me.
Maybe you could find somebody else who enjoys those same things.
I mean, this past Sunday, Mary just got a haircut. She got a bob.
Oh, scandalous.
Wow.
Like, she is a visionary of her time. I can't believe she did that. Anyways, so let's go back to tea and family. So this is for whoever wants to open. So we've all made our own family. This is kind of like counterintuitive because social media for a lot of people is about keeping up with people. And then there's the sentiment of social media makes people more conceited and like, oh, look at me. But I kind of feel like for the world of tea, social media is its own unique thing. I think that
Don't step on that.
I'm sorry.
Right.
But the world of tea and social media for the world of tea is really unique because it's not about boasting. It's not about like, look at me. It's very much of what are you doing? And I feel like there's a community of tea on social media that doesn't exist quite anywhere else. What do you guys make of the online tea community, especially on social media? And how did you guys fit in? Or did it just happen?
That's a big question. I'll go ahead and start because kind of my introduction to tea was through social media. So when I was younger, I'm like, oh, okay, tea is cool. But like it was mostly just tea bags and like I was not making good tea, but you know, I was still interested in it. And then I don't know, I think I was just getting like ads on Instagram for some tea. It was some like bougie like blended tea and I'm like, okay, I'll get some of that. And I thought that was really tasty. And then I moved for school where I am now and there's an actual like a tea and a coffee shop that sells like decent quality loose leaf. So I was able to actually browse and smell things and kind of learn what different things are. And then as far as like Gong Fu Cha goes, it was really just stuff on YouTube that I was learning from. Like I was trying to get any sort of exposure that I could to it. Because for me, for some reason, when I get interested in something, I have to like consume every single little bit of information about it before I'm satisfied. And I was in the dorms at the time, so I couldn't really afford and didn't really have the space for like a Gong Fu setup like this. So when I moved back to my hometown after that school year, I got a whole setup. You know, I chose Y2T as my first vendor. Sorry. And I was just I know.
The scandal.
And then that's kind of that was my introduction to pu'er and just more high quality teas like that. And you know, it's just been going from there. I ended up making my tea account for Crimson Lotus's like 8-year giveaway just to do the hashtag, and I just kept on going with it. People actually seem to enjoy the stuff. You know, slowly commenting on people's posts, chatting with people in DMs, just kind of learning people in the community. So yeah, that's kind of my story.
I'm sorry. Someone asked me on the app that they wanted to see what my butt looked like.
Oh, and you just gave it to them.
I don't know how this matters. They see my face.
You're giving it to
They
them
said
for
it's
free.
flat. Listen, I went hiking all summer and they said I would get a bigger butt for doing it. Do you know all it did? It made me lose my body fat percentage and my butt still stayed flat. Don't you hate it when genetics dictate how your body does something and you can't control it?
Just what genetics do.
I'm kind of.
We're all subject to that.
You could always get like an implant or something. I don't know.
Nah, I'm not gonna Nicki Minaj it. I don't think I can rock that. So as far as like, so you got into tea that way, which was great because I felt very similar. I started on social media, then branched. I was like, I guess opposite then, because I started on social media, then branched out to local community. Then I started watching all the YouTube videos and started coming across different social media accounts. And Bitterleaf Teas was not my first, but they were one of the first where I saw. You guys are one of the first where I looked at you and I'm like, this is a different kind of art to tea. Like, I've ordered from other companies and they do it uniquely in their way. So I'll never say anything about what they do. But when I came across you guys, that was like, maybe I could start a blog and Instagram, and maybe I could actually like enjoy this better. And you guys like inspired that in me to want to start writing about tea. And of course, me coming at you like a cheap ass. But do you remember? But do you remember like when you first started, like when you launched Bitterleaf Teas, what was the reception like on social media for other tea, like other pu'er heads and other tea people? Do you remember?
Yeah, oh, I remember. It was like crickets. I mean, when we first got on Instagram, you know, we're nobody, we're nothing, I'm sharing phone pictures or whatever, and it was it's pretty quiet. And it's like, okay, so I want to be different, and is that good? Like, yeah, it was a little bit. I mean, in some ways, a little bit scary, but we knew we loved tea. We knew, we knew we were passionate about it already. We'd spent a lot of time before we started the company drinking tea, learning, even doing courses, meeting various people. But for us, getting into it was like, it was also kind of a process of, I think, and I might be speaking for Kumi a bit more because, again, she's more the visual side. She's a professional photographer as well. So, it was more about kind of finding our own expression, our own style, our own creativity. And really the whole company, the entire time has just been about that. More than being a business, it's really just about an outlet exactly for creativity and for expression, because we've worked for companies, we work for other people all our lives. And then, just like a lot of people probably experience, it can be great for sure. There's nothing wrong with that, but we want to do our own things. We don't want to have to answer to anyone. We want to have certain freedoms. So starting this company was kind of about doing that, and about doing it however we want, whether it's right or wrong, but really just making as much us as possible. So being able to do that and then find success on Instagram or wherever, mostly Instagram, where we share, photos and videos and whatever. And then getting to know people personally through that, and getting, such a positive reaction, and getting really personal responses, and, hearing from people who say like, things I never would have imagined, like, oh, your tea, just arrived and made me so happy, or, really brighten up my day, or oh, it's been a tough year, and, this is something I really look forward to. It's, that really means more to us, I think, than anything. Just to know you have some kind of impact like that, all of a sudden, kind of like, it was something that we never expected. And then when it happened, you're like, oh, wow, this is what I'm doing. Okay, this actually means something. So for us, the family, the community, and the people we've met have just really just turned our experience into something much more meaningful than having a company that makes some money and now we have to figure out this and then do that, and being so transactional, which is great for giving us a way to live, but right, ultimately wouldn't be any more satisfying than if I was still in my office job in Montreal, or doing whatever, or can be still doing design for a company, or it's that kind of sums it up, I think. But,
well, as far as bringing joy to people, I know every time I receive a box of your tea, it lights up my entire month, because it's just, thankfully this box didn't get lost either.
That just destroyed me too. That crushed me this year, because we've had only a few lost packages this year, but I know how excited you are, and it was a big order of all the new teas, and I see it not updating for a few months, and I'm like, oh crap. So then we had to resend.
The postal system just sucks.
Exactly. Well, so also as far as bringing joy to people, oh, by the way, I've been enjoying all of them. My only complaint is I didn't think I got enough. I should have ordered more.
You should buy more next time. That's the secret.
As far as bringing joy to people, the Geek Steep podcast, when can we expect more? Because just like how their tea is a warm blanket, your podcast is also a warm blanket. And the fans, aka me, they're hungry for more. When can...
So, bit of a hiccup on our end. My beloved pink laptop died. And so that has all of our episodes and information. Yes, the whole thing. And so right now we're really just waiting for me to buy another laptop. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. I'm so sorry. But we have a plan. We have a good plan. We have 3 episodes left in this season, and we may have bit off more than we can chew with 30 episodes that we did in season 2. So Kelly and I have decided that we're going to do, I don't know, like 20 maybe.
Yeah,
season
a more conservative amount for sure.
It's so hard because there's so many fandoms and there's so much tea to drink that like you want to do it all, you know, but because everyone is waiting with bated breath, we've actually switched the topics for our last 3 episodes, and I'm really happy with the switch up that we've made. So it'll be fun when it happens.
If you'll ever want someone who's an expert on a fandom,
I know. And so here's the thing. I was really, really skeptical about doing music for a really long time because I don't know anything about music. I can't read music. I've never played music. And we started with Janelle Monáe this season, and that was a really fun episode. And then, because I'm obsessed with Janelle Monáe, and then we did John Williams. Sorry, yes.
Cindy Mayweather is boss. I love her.
Yes.
Or
no,
them.
I also have an Android tattoo because of her. Like that's the level of obsession with her. But we did John Williams. That was a lot of fun. And we're going to be doing another music episode. So I think at the time that you joined us on the podcast, Cody, I knew you were a Lana Del Rey fan, but I was so hesitant. Like how do we speak to music? But Kelly, I think we found our sea legs with that.
Yeah, I think the John Williams episode is actually one of my favorites we've done.
Me too.
We got probably the most amount of teas we've ever crammed into an episode, the most fandoms covered, and it was just like a really, really good conversation to see how we each interpreted, the different styles of songs and different types of teas. I don't know, it was really fun. I'm really excited for the last music one we're doing for season 2. And
are we spoiling it?
I mean, we can.
I think
Do you want an exclusive, Cody?
Yeah, and after that I have an update, but yes.
Okay, we're doing Weird Al.
Oh
my god.
Seriously?
Yeah,
man, that's
Weird Al.
That's so much fun.
That's probably the first real music that I listened to as a kid. I mean,
yeah, me too. I was always on Weird Al when I was a kid.
And that
As soon as I get
matter.
too, like Red Hot Chili Peppers or like the people he cover, right?
Yeah,
All this
yeah.
I discovered, like, wait a second, I like this. Oh, that's cool. Oh, man.
And Ethan, when we can expect, like you're just on social media, but for people who want to see you, you're going to be on the finale next week. Are you excited for the finale?
Of course I'm excited for the finale. I mean, our relationship has been a little bit strained. I think, like, we'll have to talk about that some other time, but like, otherwise, like, I'm pretty excited for it.
Maybe one of us can abruptly mention something at the wrong moment to piss the other one off.
That might be a plan. But unscripted though.
So as far as last messages, I just have this interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna assume they're Cajun from New Orleans. They asked me if I was into I'm gonna ask them, is it like New Orleans jazz? Oh,
It's
God.
just, you know,
They,
I just,
do you want to
I
know what they responded with?
I think you just block them at this point.
you know,
Oh God! Do you want to know what they just responded with? Maybe we can listen to New Orleans jazz while I on them.
I
know what?
like
Maybe-
people who know their kinks. You know,
know what?
you know your kink, and you live it. You know.
Gotta own it.
Just saying it
own
to some
it.
random dude on an app. Yep.
You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and delete Grindr. I'm gonna say my pillow can be my snuggle buddy for this holiday season. And after my experience on Grindr, I'm gonna say thank God it's my pillow and no one else.
I feel like you just try some more traditional routes. The grocery store, the Santa Village at December. That works
just
out for
some
a lot
random
of
person
people.
walking down the street.
Or Hot Topic
Mm-hmm.
at the mall.
No.
Dentist
The,
office.
the Orange Julius.
Weddings, I hear those are great places for
Mm-hmm.
meeting people.
Just bars. Remember bars? Just like bars.
Oh, I'm going to a wedding for a Jehovah's Witness next month. Maybe I can find someone there.
Oh, okay. Let's,
I mean, you could, but there's just so much to unpack. It's just...
And we're out of time, so we will unpack it on another day. So everyone, this has been great. Thank you everyone for being here this morning, tonight, since we're on different talk shows, this after or talk show. We're on different time zones on this talk show. So thank you for joining. This has been great. And everyone watching at home, thank you for joining us today. And remember, if you don't have a family you're celebrating Thanksgiving or Black Friday with, you have your tea family. Message one of your tea family and ask them to drink tea with you. I'm sure they'll say yes. Or me. I'm sure I'll say yes too. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for being here today. This is great.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.